Then you've got the co-main event, Kamaru Usman taking on Khamzat Chimaev. 6 foot play, 6'2" with a 1-inch reach for Usman. Now, Kamaru Usman, he stepped in at short notice here, but the fight is at 185, not at 170. Plus, it's a big scalp against Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev he's got so much hype around him. If you can beat Khamzat Chimaev, be that guy to take that undefeated record, that is huge. And Usman is an elite collegiate wrestler that he mixes in with MMA, almost better than almost anybody not named George St. Pierre. All right, his wrestling opens up his boxing, where he's got lots of power and he's got a very good jab. There is a reason that Kamaru Usman was the welterweight champ for so long. Okay. Khamzat Chimaev has taken the UFC by storm, smashing everybody, using a mix of relentless takedowns and ground and pound and submissions. He is just a destroyer. He's destroyed everyone that they put in front of them, with the exception of Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns gave Khamzat a real fight. He gave him everything he could handle and more. There were times at the end of that fight where it looked like Burns was going to finish Khamzat Chimaev. Right? Like Chimaev couldn't handle the physicality of Gilbert Burns. And that is interesting because it's almost like skill-wise, Gilbert Burns was very nearly a step too far for Khamzat Chimaev. And that was just over a year ago. So now he has to fight the Nigerian Nightmare. This is very interesting. It's very interesting for a few reasons. I see a lot of people writing Kamaru Usman off, right? Just saying he hasn't got a chance to beat Khamzat Chimaev. I think that's a mistake, honestly. I think that people writing him off are making a mistake. People are talking about how Usman has lost twice in a row. Okay, he's lost twice in a row, yeah. Twice in a row to Leon Edwards. One of the best pure strikers in MMA, Leon Edwards, right? I would ask this. Is Khamzat Chimaev striking as good as Leon Edwards? I would argue that it isn't. Honestly, that I would argue that it isn't. And then you've got to ask, has Khamzat Chimaev fought anybody with the wrestling pedigree of Kamaru Usman? Again, I would point to his record and I would say, no. No, he hasn't. Look, he ragdolled Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland got ragdolled by Marvin Vettori. Not being funny, like Kevin Holland does not have good takedown defense. Kamaru Usman is one of the best wrestlers to transition to MMA. He's so goddamn good. His takedown defense is something like 93%. If Khamzat Chimaev can go in there and ragdoll Kamaru Usman, then fair enough. He might be the second coming of whatever. But I'm going to need to see that first, because I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen. I don't think we see Khamzat Chimaev ragdoll Kamaru Usman in the wrestling. So that means this possibly plays out on the feet. And I would ask, does Khamzat Chimaev, has he shown that he's necessarily got better striking than Kamaru Usman? And again, I would argue that maybe that he hasn't. Because Kamaru Usman actually has very good boxing. You watch that knockout over Jorge Masvidal. You watch the knockout over Gilbert Burns. Someone who gave Khamzat Chimaev a lot of problems, by the way. You know, Usman got dropped by Burns, yeah, but then he came back and he knocked him out with that jab. Usman's got a very quick jab, very, very good overhand as well. His straight cross, it generates a lot of power, covers a lot of distance. And he doesn't have to worry too much about being taken down because his wrestling is so elite. I think he actually provides a lot of problems for Khamzat Chimaev, and that's why I am actually picking Usman to win. The bookies see that as a big upset, but Usman is by far and away, skill for skill, the best fighter that Khamzat Chimaev has ever been anywhere near, let alone fought. I think Usman takes this fight. I really do. I think people are sleeping on... I think that Kamaru Usman is a well-drilled, well-disciplined, championship caliber fighter who has some of the best wrestling defense and wrestling in the game. And I think I like him to get a big upset in that one. I'm going to take Usman for the win.